to Modification Monday. My name is Jenny, and Modification Monday is my weekly kind of sit-down chat with you guys just to kind of get my stream of consciousness out and kind of chronicle my kind of tattoo collecting journey. So definitely subscribe if you kind of like content like that. I also do other kind of more popular things on YouTube, hauls and makeup videos and things like that, so definitely check out my channel if you guys have no idea who I am and you stumbled across this. So today, I know I said in my most recent video, my favorites video, that I wanted to get away from the kind of ranty, angry, kind of passionate, sit down kind of just essentially rants to you guys. So with that being said, today's video is kind of a personal experience, and it is something that I feel like I wasn't going to talk about. I mentioned a few things to some people like after it happened, and I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and after having that conversation I feel like I just kind of need to put this out into the world. Full disclaimer, if you don't like women standing up for themselves or think by being a tattooed person I am somehow an object, please click away. This is not going to be your video. However, if you do support basic human rights and don't believe that people should be kind of basically treated as objects or seen as furniture because we like to decorate ourselves, then stay tuned. Okay, you guys. So this story first starts, I was at work, it was like middle of the afternoon, and I work in a fairly busy like shopping area. So a pair of police officers come in, and they were local to the general area, and being that we are in such a densely populated area, I didn't really think twice. You know, it set off a little bit of alarm because why are you here? Why are you kind of policing the area? Did something happen? So one of the police officers come in, actually buys some products, and I'm ringing them out at the register. So as I'm ringing him out at the register, he proceeds to ask me my name, kind of blurt it out and say, "Hi, nice to meet you, I'm so-and-so." Okay, fair enough, you just wanted to introduce yourself. I do work at a place where, you know, conversation is generally happening. You usually get to know a lot of information about the person you're selling products to. So I don't really think anything twice of it. In fact, in my job at Lush, we kind of like to get people's names. However, it was just a very strange atmosphere. And when I reached to kind of actually grab his change out of the drawer, he grabs my arm and proceeds to make some comments about my tattoos. So now, to this point, it now went from a normal kind of casual interaction with a customer to something that was really like just strange, and it really just invaded my personal space, which is like really weird. Like, and you're a police officer, like why you don't touch people. Just don't touch people. You don't. That's like one of the first things you learn when you're like yay high. Like your mom and dad teach you, do not touch people. Like you learn that in school. Your like personal space type of thing. You can't just go around shoving or touching people. So with that being said, the kind of interaction between us kind of wavers. I give him his change, and I notice that his partner is behind him, you know, smelling shower gels. And I pop in there like, oh my god, I have a sample, like let me give this to the customer, like let me give this to his friend, because I was really actually hoping that his partner would kind of notice the situation and be like, dude, like why did you do that? But I mean, you know, police officers tend to stick together and that type of thing, which is another reason why I'm making this video. But and this is not just to kind of generalize police, but I feel like because he was a police officer, the difference between right and wrong in personal space, like I feel like you should even more so know that than the general public, just because you do have that position. However, I've seen a lot of videos and a lot of people kind of talk about this online where, you know, we often talk about being a tattooed person and having people kind of come up to you and touch you and things like that. And if you had asked me that before this interaction, I would have said, oh no, like I've never been grabbed, I've never had like any of those things happen. I've gotten creepers, you know, I've definitely gotten stares and things, but you know how to kind of just brush those under the rug. It kind of comes with the territory almost. However, when you're actually physically touching someone, it was like, and then to have it happen, like I never thought I would actually be in that situation. In a situation, number one, with those exact scenarios, not to mention the fact that I was working and it was a police officer, so it was just like amplified by even more. And I've been thinking about it the last few days. I really didn't want, like, I didn't, after it happened, I had gone in the back room and me and my coworker were the only one working that day at that time frame. So I popped in the back room and I was like, did you see just what happened? Like, did you see that interaction? And you know, we laughed about it, we joked about it, but we also just shared the common thought of, yeah, that was really freaking creepy. And obviously we didn't censor ourselves, like we definitely said some things. And like a few days later, I thought I had really forgotten about it. I thought, you know, I wasn't really going to think about it. And then it kind of just came up in a conversation I had with one of my very tattooed friend, like much more tattooed than I am, and much more even so a collector than I am. And he's a male. So to have that kind of conversation with a male and even have him be like, okay, that's really messed up. You need to kind of stand up for yourself because it will happen again. And that was like, it blew my mind, number one, and it also kind of like made me think about, in retrospect, like, why didn't I say anything? Why did I just kind of like excuse myself from the situation and go over to his partner? And I think it was because I really just genuinely thought that his partner was going to notice and be like, why are you touching this random like cashier, like this random girl just trying to sell you bath bombs? But it was a weird situation, and especially speaking to someone of that authority type of role, you don't want to, like, it's that fear of not wanting to say anything. And I know it's like it's such a stupid situation, like it in retrospect, like, oh, I'm a tattooed person and this probably seems so minuscule to so many people, but just like, okay, like, let's be honest, tattoos are like a skin altering thing, so like just to kind of be marginalized in that sense. And I had this thought process kind of more so with what's been happening in our country recently, as I'm a tattooed female. I don't know how that is perceived in certain people's minds. And you know, when I first started getting tattooed, I never really thought about it like that. You know, this was always for me, like from the start. It still is, it always has been. But now it's kind of warped my mindset into what will other people perceive me as, which is really messed up. It's really, really messed up, but it makes me even think about that more when someone just reaches over and like yanked my arm, wasn't like touching it. And like, I'm not a general person where if you compliment my tattoos and be like, yeah, whatever, like, I'll be like, oh, thank you so much, you know, like, we'll talk about my tattoos, we'll talk about, you know, artists I've gone to. I'm very generally open to situations like that. But when you forcibly touch someone just out of the blue and you think you have the right to do so, like, messed up, just messed up. And I feel like, I know I said that I wanted to get out of rantier videos, but I just feel like this story needs to kind of get told, and I feel like I'm in a position and I feel like I'm courageous enough where I can say or voice kind of these opinions. I mean, that's kind of just today's video, but if you guys have any similar stories to anything like this, whether you're male or female, please let me know down below in the comments, or if you don't want to be public, you can send me a direct message on Instagram. I'll link myself down below. Like, I just want to know that I'm not alone in this, and I want you to know, if it's happened to you, that you're not alone. And we can totally build a community over similar thoughts like this, so definitely subscribe to my channel. And I swear, next Modification Monday, it'll be a lot more positive. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week.